Hello, good morning. Good morning. Here we are. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode. Welcome today to Live Podcast. I'm Greg Piskazub, and today we will be discussing the vital topic for entrepreneurs: how to maintain focus and stay organized while running multiple businesses. And today I'm on my own, but I'm pretty happy. So I've got the stage to myself. James is away on holiday. James, if you're watching, man, absolutely enjoy with your family, and don't worry, we'll look after the stage for you. So, overview of the topic. Running in multiple businesses, it's not a small task. It requires exceptional focus and organization to keep everything on track and ensure every venture is successful. So please let me know if you're in the comments, if you're managing more than one business. And for all the mothers out there, obviously you do. So if you're working on your business and you've got family and kids to look after, that's not small task already. So please treat yourself as you're running multiple businesses, because that's will be the case. Good morning, all. And I want to start by asking you all the question: how often do you find yourself juggling multiple tasks and losing track of priorities? That's very important. Feel free to share your experience in the comments. That would be good to see. And let's start with first understanding the challenges. So let's identify some common challenges that we have. So one of the biggest challenges I face when dealing with the constant distractions. So I used to find myself working on the project, on the delivery, on the quotation for the client, and the phone rings, the phone beeps, there is a message, there is that familiar, notification, or maybe it's something important. And my mind already creates importance value in that distraction, but I'm distracted from already important things I'm working on. So that's one of the main challenges I face. So whether this is an email, a phone call, and or unexpected meeting, these can completely derail your focus. So let's think about let's use a metaphor for this. So think of a focus as a sharp edge of a sword. If the edge is not well honed, it will not cut through the clutter of everyday tasks and distractions. And I'd like to use my own personal experience. So this is exactly when I was sitting and writing a proposal for a client for the whole redecorating of the property, new electrical installations, and then the phone would ring, and that was end of last year. And the phone rings, so I'm keep constantly watching who's calling, and I'm like, no. And it took me 4 days to complete this. Just to put this into perspective, it takes me now 1 hour and less to complete the same proposal for my client. So that's how far we've gone. But that's exactly what I was. It was an email. It was a notification on the screen. It was the phone call. Not everything is designed. Well, actually, that's a good point. Everything is designed to distract you. Everything is designed to compete for your attention. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all of it is designed to get your attention. And even to the point that all of my colleagues from marketing would agree with me here, that if you are on Instagram and you've got a product that you're selling and you want to sell the product, so if you put a link to your product, and if your intention would be to get everyone to click on that link and it will take them to your page so you can sell more, where actually all of those social platforms will derank your post, because you are trying to take the audience, take the viewer, the very valuable viewer that they pay thousands and hundreds of millions every year to research, and get their attention to stay longer within the app. And if you advertised in such a way that you're going to take them from their platform, the algorithm is written in a way to do not show your post or your video or your reel to a lot of audience, because it's actually negatively impacting their own policy. So there is a different techniques to do that, but that's not what we are covering today. So staying laser focused, and I will be sharing with you techniques today, what I'm using to stay focused, make sure you deliver your projects on time, make sure that you have your team and know what they're doing. And the most important is make sure that your team knows what to do when they don't know what to do. So you have to have a process for that. And it is actually simpler than it sounds. How many of you find yourself in a situation previously, or maybe even now, when you've got a task that you've got to do, but you just don't know how to do it? So for example, you've taken on a new project, you've been promoted in your business, and you don't necessarily understand completely how you have to complete your project, your task. Knowing what to do when you don't know what to do is brilliant. And this is not like, oh, I'm going to just magically know what I need to do for this particular task. No, it's knowing how to report and what key areas you are not aware of and where to put them, so people who work with you or people who are responsible for the delivery of the overall project know what you need help with. And this is the key of doing. But going forward, let's move to the practical strategies. So what I'm using in my own personal experience is time blocking. So time blocking techniques. It is simplifying your weekly diary. And as simple as it sounds, you go into a weekly diary and you put the blocks in terms of, like, I'll share with you what I'm doing. So Monday and Wednesdays in the afternoon are my video calls, video call day. So this is what I'm scheduling. This is where my my personal assistant and my VA, they understand when to schedule all of the video calls. So I'm doing all of my video meetings, all of my calls on Monday and Wednesday. And because we've got the schedule between 4 and 8, sometimes I need to enlarge these blocks, but this is what I'm aiming for. Having all of my calls done on Monday and Wednesday evening, then the rest of the days I can focus on different time blocks and really laser focus while I'm doing this activity. Because I'm not going to be writing proposal on Monday evening. I'm not going to be writing proposal on Wednesday. So if my client comes to me and asks me, Greg, would you mind deliver this to me by Tuesday morning? I would straight away know I can't, because Monday evening I would be busy, and Sunday I don't want to work to be to have this ready on Monday. So this is simplifying even your decision and commitment making to your clients, to your partners, because you know when you're working, and it's so easy when someone's asking you, are you available next week Wednesday afternoon? And you will know, no, sorry, I'm not, but I can be with you Thursday, lunchtime. And this simple technique allows you to quickly understand where you are in terms of your business management. And once you find yourself in that time block specified by you, this is a key, an element to your efficiency. And that's how simple it is. So just to complete my time block, Monday, Wednesday, and Tuesday, Wednesday mornings are blocked for my trading business, for my electrical business. So this is what I'm meeting my team on site. This is what I'm meeting with the clients, going through the specs of the work. This is where we go into a building site, meeting builders. This is where we will have our meetings. This is where we will schedule the scope of works for the week. And I'm doing this next day. We're also doing it. And you will ask me, Greg, why do you keep repeating the same things every day? Oh, trust me, 24 hours is a lot of time. So If I'm doing this every day with my contractors and with my team, the things are changing during the day, and the next day the priorities may shift. And if I'm not going to go through it, I might not be aware that something has changed, or I might not be aware that they needed to start on different part of the build because X, Y, and Z. So this is important, and it creates this atmosphere that people know when they can come and tell you. If you're the leader, if you are, if you got your team, and you're taking them through through a very complete and complex project, they know exactly when they feedback, when they've got this opportunity to feedback to you. Because I found myself in a situation where my team didn't understand the best approach to tell me what things are going wrong, and that was last year, only to the point where I've scheduled one-to-one meetings to understand how they perform, and then I only find out that how many things have gone wrong, and I wasn't even being told about it because they didn't know when is the best time to tell me how bad it's going. So time blocking with your team, everyone knows what you're doing, when you're doing. Your assistants know when to schedule calls, when you're available to go out and meet with people. Key. That's a really key, key project to your success. Time blocking, really simple. Recommendation here, Dan Martell, Buy Back Your Time. This book has completely changed my business and how we do things, how we do emails, how we do calendar. Absolutely. If I can recommend you one thing today, and this is the only one lesson you want to take out from today, is Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. And you will thank me like never before how much this impacts your business and your private and personal life. So apart from time blocking, it is also important of setting goals. Previously in this live episode, live podcasts, we mentioned about clarity and importance of setting a goal. But today we'd like to cover specifically setting goals for entrepreneurs in a business. And what I mean by this is we all have amazing goals. I'll start with mine. So my goal is to have slow mornings, is to be able to go for a bike ride any time of the day. I choose to. Is to take my family for holiday whenever I would like to go, and I'm not bounded by clients, by business, by needing to be in a business. And this is my goal. But that's big goal, but it's good to have that. But setting your goals for the week ahead is actually more tangible keys in your business to achieve it. I'll show you how I'm doing this and how I'm tracking my goals, because that's very important. So I'll share this with you. But I show you how I'm doing this as well. But the way I'm doing it is every Sunday morning, like today, I'm focusing on what is the most important for the week ahead. And this is something that you can train and you can learn and master. And trust me, it will change your business forever. Sunday morning, we call this in our mastermind group Sunday Sanity. And this is thanks to Daniel Hill and Adam Goff. Guys, you're absolutely amazing. So they've introduced into my business Sunday Sanity. And now I absolutely love it. What it means to me, my Sunday Sanity means that every Sunday morning, I'm waking up, I'm doing all my morning routine, such as meditation, mindfulness. I'm not doing this every day. It's just how I feel on that particular day, because you need to listen to yourself and to your inner self. But I'm going on my computer, and no phones, no social media, no emails. I go to my tool, which I'm going to share with you, and I input, I think about, reflect on the last week, how well I did. It's clearly see how I'm doing, and I'll show you that in a moment. And I'm focusing on the 10 most important tasks for the next week. And the way I'm doing it is the 3 of those 10 are very difficult are the ones, not always difficult, but the ones that will directly make impact on your business. It will make impact on where you go. And these are the steps, these are the tasks that will take you forward. And you know it. You know, and you completely understand what task do you have to do in your business to take you forward. So 3 of those. And the next 3 are quite easy, achievable tasks. This is something I need to do to move the project forward, to meet with the client, to make sure I will not forget about that meeting, about taking my subcontractor to the job. And these are the important tasks to be done. But the rest 4 of those tasks are the tasks that I don't, it's more about my lifestyle. I don't want to forget about this. So this is where once a month I need to remember about taking, being appreciative to my partner. She's, while I'm working and I'm not at home and I'm doing everything else, she's looking after the house. So I need to appreciate that. So flowers, a date night. This is how simply we forget to appreciate our partners because we're busy, and using the excuse I was busy is very poor, because you have to put these, I call them stones, into your calendar, and I'll explain why I call them stones. So you have to put those stones into your calendar because these are the most important, and once they're in the calendar, you're just going to do it. And so that's how I break them down into 3, 3, and 4. 3 super important, 3 important, and 4 something I have to do to make sure I can sign off the week and be super happy with how I did. And if you have any comments, please share them within wherever you're watching us, because we are live streaming to a few different social media platforms. So if I'm not seeing your comment, I will be sure to reply to it. So this is time blocking techniques, setting clear goals. That's how I'm doing, and when I'm doing. I found Sunday to be the best day of the week to actually do those. Eliminating distractions. On the previous episodes, I shared with you how I'm doing it, and I'm just going to go back to it quickly. So if you got any phone, any mobile phone, you will have one of those focus time distractions, or if you don't know how to do it, if you're not technical, you can turn off your phone. Basically, you can leave the phone somewhere else, and that's actually something really good. If you put your phone in a different room and just only focus on what you do, that's fine. You can turn off your signals, or you can put the airplane mode. But remember, that doesn't turn off your Wi-Fi, so you can still call. All notifications could come. So phone is the worst distraction ever, and I'm worse at being distracted. So that's why it's taken away. Well, it's here with me to show you today. So please don't judge me in the comments. And while you're eliminating your distraction, while you're eliminating your clutter on your desk, which we referred to last week, it gives you the space, and in your mind, it's creating like there's nothing to distract you. This is nice and clean, and you can clearly focus on what is most important. And then you can use tools like I'm using Monday.com, but you can use Trello, you can use Asana. These are fantastic to keep your projects organized, to keep your clients in order, help you track how you do. And let me show you today how I'm doing this. So this is me on my Sunday sanity. So I'm just sharing with you here quickly my dashboard from Monday.com, and this is work management. You can have a different boards. So this is my main workspace, and something that we do here. This is a Sunday sanity. Quickly, at a glance of a screen, you see colors, and these colors are key to my performance. And I don't mind sharing this with you. So as you can clearly see, the green, orange, and red, and then you see different colors and shades of blue and black. So the one on the right is status of my performance, and these are weekly. I started in January. So a lot of change for me this January. And you can see there is a pattern. Some of the weeks I've got green all the way, and that means I've basically completed all of my tasks for that week. And some of the weeks you can see that there is more amber and there is more red. And this is as simply as green means done, amber means I'm working on it, and the red is I'm stuck. So I've not done it, I haven't completed, and maybe I can go back to it if I have time, during the next week. I can always go back and see if I can complete that item. But that just shows how busy I am. You can see also some gray. So gray is that this hasn't yet been worked on, and there's some gray as well in there. So that just indicates how I've done over the month, over the past time, and I can quickly see. But as I'm drilling into it, so for example, let's just open March week 3. These are some of the tasks I've completed, and I also put priority to them: medium, low, high, and this is very, very important, and it allows me to stay organized and knowing what to do, when to do, because that's very important. So I'm using Monday.com, but I know my friends using Asana. It's very similar. By the way, I'm not being sponsored by Monday.com by any means. I'm just sharing with you what makes me successful and what helps me to stay organized. Here's my electrical business, and same again. You can see which I'm pretty strict on my electrical business. Everything needs to be done. And there are some weeks where we had some trouble. So yeah, here we go, March week 3. On my Sunday sanity, I've completed everything, but in my electrical business, I was stuck on some of the items. So that's how simply it is. And my property business, here we go. It just updates as we go. And you can see that the majority is nice and green. Importance-wise is, I set the importance of the task. Great tool if you are working on your own and you run one business. This also is great because how easy it is to forget what important things you have to do. And while you're on the go, working with your clients or your contractors, quickly just put those sub items to your list, and then later you can put how important this is for you. So you can quickly mark your progress and just check how you're getting on. The reason that if you only want to take, another learning from this moment is when you're like me, working long hours, doing a lot of things, looking after more than 1 or 2 businesses, and you feel that you haven't really achieved. It comes that time in the day where, oh my God, I don't think like I've done anything today. And then you feel bad. This is exactly and especially an amazing tool to go in, look at the list that you actually have completed, check the items that you've done. And this is an amazing sense of like a small victory. When you press, let me actually show you. So if I'm going to go to my top task I'm just creating for next week. So here we go, update the spreadsheets. If you put a status to done, it gives you a little balloons. It gives you like a little sense of, yeah, I've won it. So each one of those little things helps you immensely to move forward. And Monday.com, really good tool, but you can use anything. You can use a to-do list. You can use, you can use anything. Monday.com works for me, but you could use a list, a paper, a notepad, as long as you're using it and you go into it every week. So if you're consistent and if you can self-motivate, then that's exactly. And anything that you're using, as long as you're using, you will be successful. But I like Monday.com because I can quickly see how I'm performing, but also not only for the reason of using the tools. I'm working with Monday.com because it is very important to not forget. If you're working within a team and your team has to deliver on your requests, using tool like Monday.com, Trello, Asana, it's the key of the delegation. So here is what I will come back to: time blocking, to go back to eliminating distractions and setting goals. I'm clearly setting my goals within my Monday.com, and I'm delegating some of the tasks to my personal assistant and to my VA, and they know what they've got to do. We can keep chat, we can keep updates of these projects. And the most important part of that video that you're going to remember from today is, if you don't know what to do, but you know what to do when you don't know what to do, is you report. You report in Monday.com and you flag it up as an important, as a critical or high important. And then it flags it up to me. So then I know someone from my team needs help and is critical. So I then go and I update accordingly. And that's the process. It is easy, but as long as you're using it. If pen and paper might not be sufficient for this level of organization and delegation, go and revisit the tools I've mentioned before, and I'm happy to help. But this is what helps me to be productive. This is what helps me to run 3 businesses at once, and it's a not small task. I'm winning and I'm losing. But when I'm winning, I know why I'm winning. When I'm losing, I know when I'm losing, because when my mood, when I have a very challenging weeks, I can clearly see that in my progress, in my performance. And that's exactly is really good when you are reviewing your own performance. And also very important, if you have team and you're delegating your work, you want to see an impact on your status, on your progress, that you're actually smashing it, and week by week you're getting better by, so that green fills all of the rows, and that's what you want to see, especially when you're delegating. Moving on from delegating, I wonder if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments. And knowing where to report, knowing what to do or not knowing what to do, there is also another great tool that we are using in our business, and these are SOPs. So using standard operating procedures, and this is what we have used for our business. We started with one of the tools online, which is whale.io. Again, not sponsored by them, but I'm just sharing. I've got a syndrome of if there is a tool out there, I'm going to try it. And my partner, she hates that in me, because if there's something out there, I possibly already got a subscription for it. Hopefully I cancel them before I decide to, not to use it or use it. But if you're guilty of, subscribing to a lot of softwares and not canceling them, then let me know, give us a like, because I will totally understand where you are. So I possibly got like 15 subscriptions going on at a time. And I'd like to say that 90% of those we're using nonstop. I'm always experimenting with few. So I've started using this system called well.io SOPs, and it was really good because it was organized. It had a structure of organizing, helping me to create that organization, because I was creating this on my own. So that's why I went to use the tool to help me. And what is SOP? Standard operating procedure. Standard operating procedure is just a set of task checklists to do of any given task. So for example, on this occasion, onboarding a new tenant. And what you've got to do from a very first step is firstly a checklist. Have we got a tenant ready? Have all of the process of viewing have been completed? Do we have all the questions answered from previewing and viewing of the property by this tenant? Because we do ask questions. Once those, because these are previous SOPs. So if it's tick, 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 then you can actually move to the onboarding. But if the others are not being ticked, that means that some vital informations we needed for our process haven't been followed. We need to go back and make sure we have all of the information. Because if we don't have those information and we go into onboard a tenant, and for example, this is where the tenant has a dog. This is where the tenant has maybe a child that wants to move with him to one of our HMOs, and we failed to ask that question at the previewing stage, and we've gonna waste all of our time going through the process only to find out, oh, sorry, you can't, we can't allow you to come with the dog because other tenants have allergies. So this is how important this is and how simple you can save yourself a lot of time by not wasting it. And writing down in the SOP, people who work for you and even yourself, you can quickly go through a checklist. And delegation of that task of onboarding is so much easier, because when you have your VA, your virtual assistant, you just tell them, have all the, could we please go make sure that all of the SOPs are being updated as we go through our processes. When we ask someone else to onboard a new tenant, they will know exactly what they need to do, and they can go back and check what is done. Now I've got a personal assistant and I've got a virtual assistant, and they are helping me. So they are going through the SOPs, they create them, they will update them. So I've got really nothing to do with the day-to-day operation as much as I am making sure that these are still relevant. So when we have our meetings, that's where we just go through them. And the question is, are all of our standard operating procedure up to date, or do we need to update them? So I'll make this a question of on a monthly basis. And think of an SOP as a recipe book for your business. So just following the recipe, you can have all of the ingredients. I love this metaphor. You can have all of the ingredients to bake this amazing cake. And I love sweets. So think of this beautiful cake that you love, and you've got all the recipes because there are just, you've been given the list. But if you don't know how to stir it, when to put the eggs, whether the butter needs to be cold or melted, so you can chuck everything into a bowl, mix it all up, and chuck it into a tin. I'm sure that's not going to be an amazing cake that you have in your mind. But if you can use an experience of someone else who helped to create those SOPs, and you know how to follow each step, that ensures that you're successful every time when completing that one task. And we have them all now in Monday.com. You can have them in any other tool. We are using Google Drive with all the documents. Links all are being diverted to the clouds, so you can quickly see how the process has followed for every tenant, for every project, for every job. That's how easy it is. So I encourage you to use any tool that you may have. And if you want to follow me and use Monday.com, please do. Also, very important in managing businesses, in my opinion, is stress management. Managing stress, it is, if not the most important, it is definitely at the top of the list. Techniques that helps me is the mindfulness, meditating. It's even regular short breaks. So what I'm doing is I'm using something that's called Toggle to time track myself, because I'm working with other teams. So I need to understand how much of my time I'm giving to every different aspect of my business. And this is being on the job with the team, having meetings, traveling, doing admin work. I track my time, so I know exactly where the time is going. And if I actually delegate a job to someone else, I want to see a direct impact on my time. Because what's the point of hiring someone, training them, going through all of the processes that you have in your business, and then you still working the same amount of hours? That's nonsense. So when you track your time, You know exactly that if you've employed someone, they've gone through all the training, they know where where to take the information from, and then you can see impact on your, on your hours on a weekly basis. You know that it's working, because you don't want to end up with 10, 20 employees and still work 60 or 90 hours a week. Surely you don't. So I don't. I did that. I don't. And some of the weeks are better. Some of the weeks are not as good. And to share the exact perspective from my experience is last year, my average weekly hours were 20, where when I started the business, they were like 80, 90 a week. And now the business has changed, refocus, and I found myself working more hours because we've had a restructure in my business. So just we need to get more people in, which means I'm needed much more in the business to focus, to train people, to help them, to show them. But then once I've put this in place, I want to clearly see the roadmap of me dropping my hours week, month on month. And I only gonna know that by tracking my time. I will never gonna know that when how I feel on each day or each end of the week. I'm only gonna know that when I've actually done my measurement. So you can only there was this good saying, you can only improve what you measure. You can't improve something that you're not measuring. And that's exactly what it is. If you want to succeed in your business and life. If you don't, you don't have to do it. I wonder if you may have any questions. Please feel free to leave them today. But just to give you a recap from the whole day. So today we talked about the common challenges of a daily routine for working on your business. Because you might be still at this stage when you are in your business, when the business is completely relying on you. And this is challenging because if you haven't got anyone else to help you get out of that position, out of that very troubled place, because you're making money to support your family and pay the bills. Being organized and measuring how you're doing is key, because coming home when you're super tired because you just worked 12, 14 hours or 16 hours shift for yourself in your own business, you may feel absolutely depressed that you have to work really hard. But then compare this against other months and work on your offering. So perhaps there are techniques where you can improve your efficiency, maybe upping your hourly rate, changing your clients. So, but if you're not measuring, how will you know how well you're doing? You won't. So it's a good tip. Remember that one. Second one is time blocking, as I recommended. Buy back your time by Dan Martell, and you will absolutely thank me. So feel free to use that book. You can, if you're not a good reader, you can listen to it on Amazon, Audible, or any other platform. But strongly recommend that book. We live by it, and the business is run exactly by this book and changed so much. Setting clear goals. If you'd like to do what I'm doing and use Sunday Sanity as your tool to set the week ahead, that's exactly how you're going to accomplish more than you have done so far. Or you're just going to be aware that you have or haven't. And if you haven't, so this is for people working on by themselves. If you feel that you haven't, and you haven't because you're measuring and you didn't, but you're working 14 hours a day or 16 hours a day, maybe you can identify which of these tasks that you've done are low importance repetitive tasks, and delegate it to someone else. Like, you can get help from a virtual assistant for a fraction of your hourly rate, and they will be more than happy and possibly even better than you to do those low value tasks, because that will be for them the only focus they've got to do. And you can focus on the business. Work less, share your workload, and just be more satisfied with how you perform. Eliminating distractions. I think everyone is talking about that these days. So your phones, as I said, every social media platform out there is literally fighting for your attention. You should fight for yours too by saying no to them. So you decide whether you want them to, to have a control over you, or you want to gain control over what you're focusing on. That's very important. Using SOPs, please feel free to to reach out if you need help to build your SOP. There's so many tools out there. Well, even ChatGPT. If you have a task that you're doing and you're just not good to take it down and write down into a proper system of step how to follow, this is the best, easiest tip you can take today. Record yourself and upload this to a ChatGPT and tell them, could you please create an SOP for my teams so they will understand how to do X, Y, and Z. Please keep this in order and steps so it could be easily followed and checked as they go. And trust me, that simple prompt is going to spit out the most polished document, but double check it, because sometimes imagination of this AI do wander and it can be more creative than you want them to be. But if you have a specific prompt, then it will spit out a beautiful document that you can just share with everyone. Proofread it first, make sure that you're happy with all the steps, do the final tuning, share with your teams, and that's it. That's how easy. You've just delegated your first task and everyone knows how to do it. How great that is. It will be, it will be freeing, it will be revealing when you try to do that. And stress management. Stress management and healthy work-life balance. So firstly, stress management. I'm using mindfulness techniques such as breathing, and recently I've been recommended to use this app. It's called Brain FM. Again, not sponsored. I'm just sharing here with you. Brain FM is brilliant. It's got a different key focuses for you of this super fine-tuned music. There's no words, there's just some tones which are very carefully selected if you want to focus on deep focus work, light learning, on relaxing, de-stressing. And I've been doing this now for 3 months and I absolutely love it. I put my headphones, block the outside world completely, and I put this on and I'm just going on my on my computer or task or whatever I'm doing, and I'm telling you how brilliant it is. It measured the times as well, so you know how you can set for 15 minutes, 20 minutes of focus, so using Pomodoro technique. And just if you will perform in a shortened time, where like 40 minutes, 30 minutes, then you can set it for like 30 minutes, and that's it. When the music stops, you know that this is only your time given to that project now, because you need to take a break before you will burn out. So you can go for a walk, recharge, get a drink of water, and then go back into it. So taking some short breaks really help. And that stress management is using just the clever techniques of going out, stretch yourself, going for 10, 15, 20 minutes, walk if you can, using break at work, using every opportunity that you have and you could to go out and get yourself better. The sun is shining, so go and get some vitamin D, and this will really help you to achieve much more. Frequent breaks, and it will help you to reduce that level of stress, because we're stressing because we're caring. We care because we want to achieve, because we want to deliver. And because we want to deliver, we want to provide for families. And all of that is so related one to another that is stressing us. And we can be really good at controlling that stress, but we still want to deliver and provide for the families. So understanding how you work and how you control that stress, it's amazing. And that's what I super recommend to use. And you might not need anything. You might not need no subscriptions, no music, no nothing. You might just need to close your eyes, listen to the nature, take a few deep breaths, and you can go in again. Everyone is different. So I encourage you just to go out there, try it out for yourself. And it would be great if you just share with us what worked for you. Please do. With this beautiful summary of today's live episode, I'd like to thank every one of you who joined me and watched live. And as we mentioned before, there are amazing things that are coming to this live show. I've been doing this for 6 months now, and lots of things have clarified for me, and we are taking this to the next level. We are deciding if weekly content is the right content. We are deciding if this is something that we need to take to another platform. And stay tuned, give us a like, subscribe and follow on whichever platform you're watching this from, so we can share more information as we go forward and let you know how you can continue to stay with us, how you can continue to keep watching, and how you can continue to be part of this community. We are here to help, encourage, and work with you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your time. See you next week. See you soon.